Tensions between the USA and China are constantly rising. The trade market is slowly becoming threatened by both political superpowers, and it is clear a trade war between them has emerged. Any trade war will begin when a country gradually becomes more protectionist in their trade habits. They will limit and restrict certain imports by imposing tariffs in order to improve domestic businesses and jobs. However, usually, in the process of a trade war, the victimized country will fight back by imposing the same or even higher tariffs on the opposing nation. The dispute will continue until one country backs down or they both come to an agreement.
In December, after months of hostility, both parties agreed to a truce. That led to the ways of talking between the two parties to settle everything. A trade deal had been looking promising even up until April 2019. It was all looking good until May 10, 2019, when the US announced that they will be raising the tariffs from 10% to 25% on $200 worth of Chinese products such as internet routers and modems. 3 days later, China, as a response, retaliated with higher tariffs on a revised list of $60,000 billion worth of US products, including frozen vegetables and liquefied natural gas. While the trade war was happening, the US is concerned with Huawei and the race to 5G was rising. First, let's look at how 5G got tied up in all of this. When Trump noticed that Huawei was getting closer and closer to 5G every day, he did not want the US to lose their edge in technology. This became especially important to them since China sees technology as a way to become the new superpower of the world, and that's a title the US does not want to lose. The US is full of Huawei network equipment, and now they fear that there is a connection between Huawei and the Chinese government. Huawei and the Chinese government have denied all accusations. If there was to be a connection, that would mean that China would be able to track down and know every little thing happening in the US. These could also potentially include government secrets and plans. Well, what does this mean for people? As the US step-by-step bans large companies from using Huawei, the prices on items we use in our daily lives will increase. For example, in a phone, the pieces are exported from many different countries. The speakers in this case are from China. And Trump said that raises a concern that they are being listened to at all times, and to avoid that, the companies would have to buy the pieces from somewhere else, which would probably charge them more, and so on.
Obviously, China and the USA are directly affected by this trade war. They're basically the main stakeholders. Generally, the country's economy will be affected. GDP growth may also slow down as a result, though there are certain and more specific stakeholders within the affected country. International and also local industries are affected by the trade war every day, which will of course affect their citizens working in and for these companies. Studies conducted by some of the USA's most prestigious universities show that due to the imposed tariffs on China's imported products, they have suffered from $8 billion of lost GDP. The raised tariffs, as I said, affect businesses situated in the involved countries, since usually they pay more money for their goods to be exported and imported. These extra expenses result in the companies losing money. And obviously, everybody engaged with the industry, whether they are suppliers, employees, investors, and shareholders, they will all gradually be negatively affected. Even consumers of the company's products are affected by the tariff increase. This is because since industries are losing money, they will also have to compensate for the decreased profit by increasing their initial market prices. Of course, due to China's current economic situation in which they undergo numerous steps in trade tensions, they cannot afford the amount of American products that they used to before tariffs. As a result, not only do the Chinese citizens get less American produce, but actually American companies will also struggle from the decreased sales. An article written about model-based assessment taken by the Bank of Finland was released stating that the trade war between China and the US has, and I quote, significantly weakened the global economy. The piece explained how tariff increase from both superpowers have slowed global GDP growth by roughly 0.7 of a percentage point. They affirm also that global GDP rates will slow down further if the trade war continues at its current frequencies.
How is the world getting affected by the trade wars? Here you have a graph that shows the US total imports. The trade war had begun in 2018. From that point on, you can see that imports to Mexico stayed stable and the same. Same goes for Canada with minimum changes. The interesting part is with China and Europe. Because of the trade wars and tariff imports, you can see that there is a large decrease when you look at China. With the lack of imports from China, you can see that the US replaced China with Europe. More and more imports from Europe, and the products are likely to be the products that used to be imported from China. Looking at this, you can already see that the numbers on the left are much less than the chart earlier. This shows that US is a stronger economy than China. From 2018 on, where the trade war has begun, you can see that there has been a slight decrease with Japan and South Korea. These are happening because of China's already existing economical problems. A major decrease with US, which is understandable because of the trade war and the tariffs. There has only been an increase with Europe. That is because the goods that used to be imported from the US are now being imported from Europe.
Throughout the video, we have discussed what a trade war is, our current international trade situation, and some of the most important of stakeholders concerning the US and China rivalry. We especially outline the negative effects of such encounters and how they will further develop in the future. So far, both nations remain in the process of negotiations, though experts suggest that their recent dispute actually focuses on more than just trade, and could even expand into other sectors.